Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to Beginning C++. So today we're going to be going over what variables are and the different types of variables. So if you know and you've been in any math class, I'm pretty sure you know what a variable is, like a variable x and y in the Cartesian coordinate system, where you have an x and it comes up with a y. Very, very similar. So we use variables to store information in the RAM, to store a number that we want to use later on in the program so that the computer could remember it. And we use it for a lot of advanced things, and it is the biggest part in programming. That's why I teach it so early. Alright, so there's a couple different types. So let's go ahead and show you those different types. So let's say we had those different types. Alright, so first off, there's the bool. A bool is basically an example of on and off, so 0 or 1, true or false. So it could only be true or false. So this is, conditional, what they call a conditional variable, where it's either on or off. You turn the light switch on, you have the light switch off or on. Same exact thing, but in this case, the value is true or false. So this is true or false. And then we got char, and char is a character. So example would be, and a character you would surround with one single quotes. Single quote C, like that, that's a character, or D or whatever. It's a one single character. Alright, then we have int. Now int is just a standard small character, so it's 1, 2, 3, 52, etc. But it does not have a decimal point. And it can have a minus, so it could be minus, it could be signed, what they call signed, so negative 43. But it cannot have a decimal point. So that does not work. Okay. Then we have float, which we're not going to use. We're going to use a larger one, which is called double. And a double is basically integer, but you can have decimal points and negative signs. So that's what basically it would look like. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so double is the one that you're going to use all of your decimal points on. And I believe that's mainly all the ones that we're going to use for the most part. Alright. So basically what we are going to do is we're going to do a little bit of addition and maybe some... Actually, no. I don't think we're going to do any addition. We're just going to learn how to set these things up. And we might do addition. I don't know. So basically what happens here is that you have to what's called define a variable. You have to name it. So let's say I have Boolean... I don't know, Jack or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You can name it whatever you want as long as it's not a reserved character. Now, what do I mean by a reserved character? You can't call it Boolean true. If I spelled true right. That's a reserved character. See how it turns blue? That means it's a reserved character. And your names cannot have a number at the beginning. It could have a number at the end. So let's call it like, let's just call it Jack. So it could be Jack 4. That's valid. And then you have an equals to, and then you have the semicolon. So if I haven't said already, the semicolon is what you have to close a statement. This right here these are statements. We are setting something inside of this program here, and the semicolon is telling the compiler that we are done writing that line. That line ends there, and go ahead and move to the next line. Or it signifies the end of a statement. So then you have a char one character 1 So that's just something I came up with. And then you see that the IDE, of course, the biggest thing is that IDEs are so fundamental, where you have something where you hit one quote and it automatically adds a second quote to close it. Because if you have something open, you automatically have to close it. For example, here you see a bracket, it's got a closing bracket. So the IDE does that for us automatically. Alright, so then let's just say F, and then you have to close that line. Int, you just call like cash. Let's say you have $500 cash. And then let's call this like quarters. You have, 50 cents in quarters. 50 cents in quarters. So let's just mess around and get these to output. You see we have successful. So there you see that Jack is a 1. In this case, true and false is signified by a 1 and a 0. That's just a programming thing. Zero is used a lot in programming. It's actually the start. In programming, we start at 0 and not 1. It's very interesting. So if you notice that if we change this to false, we build this and we run it, it gives you a 0, if you could see that. Alrighty, so let's say that we moved on to, let's just have it, we're just going to copy this. Just right click, copy. And let's just go ahead and output all of our variables. And you notice here that we are referring to the variables by their name. So this is where, it's basically an address and it points to the RAM. So it's holding an address in this name. And we are pointing to it inside of the RAM. I spelled quarters wrong. Okay, and here you go. This is what we got. We got 0F, 5, and 500, and 0.5. You notice here that's exactly what we need there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some basic addition. Show you some basic addition. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to do some basic arithmetic. All right. So number one is you need to add like variables. So you can't really add an int in a double, but you can do this. So let's say solution. Let's just say it's a solution, and then we're going to say it equals 0. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do some simple arithmetic. So we do solution equals, we're going to say cash plus the quarters. Now very, very simple here. Let's go ahead and get rid of these other lines. Okay, so you see here that we created a new variable to hold our solution, which I named it solution. You can name it whatever you want. You can name it, what's in your pocket, pocket money or whatever you want. And then I named it to 0 because I want to store stuff in there. I mean, you can name it to whatever. It would automatically, push that in there. So, yeah. We are just adding. We're adding quarters and cash is an int and quarters is a double. You need to have the higher precision up top that has a possibility for decimal places. So you see that I changed it to a double because it's got a decimal place here. If I tried an int, it would give me an error because int cannot store decimal places. I mean, it will work, but it'll truncate it. Oops. Let me go ahead and actually change this. So basically what would happen is the reason why you would get an error, you wouldn't get an error, you see that basically what happens is an int, it won't round it. If you have any decimal places after it, it'll just knock the decimal places off. So you see, even if I would have put like, I know you can't get 60 cents with quarters, but let's just try that for, see, it just automatically knocks it off, even though it would have rounded because it's a 6. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily work that way. So let's go ahead and choose this back to double and just see that simple addition and this simple arithmetic. And there you go. Alright, so I'll probably end this video here, and next video we'll move on to more arithmetic stuff. Alright, so this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. If you the link to the book is in the description that I'm using as a reference. If you have any questions, email me and check out my website if you get a chance. Alright, I'll check you guys later. Peace, and thanks for watching.